Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Mathemagix JEE.
In this video, we are going to discuss some important and interesting patterns of composition of functions as well as functional series. So let us discuss the first type, which is if fx is a function which is of the form linear upon linear. So ax plus b divided by cx plus d, where a, b, c, d are all real and x is also lying in the domain of fx. Then you need to remember that if a plus d equal to 0, then f is self-inverse, which means f of x is equal to x. So whenever you observe a function like this, when a plus d equal to 0, you can simply say that f is a self-inverse function. That means f of x will be x. So what will be the value of f of fx? It will be simply fx, because f of fx will be f of x, so it will be identically equal to itself. So let us take some examples on this. Here is a question from JEE Main 2021. If fx is defined like this, then the value of alpha for which f of x is equal to x for all x belongs to this. Okay, so f is basically self-inverse. So from the property we just discussed, we can say that the coefficient of x in the numerator and the constant term in the denominator, their sum has to be 0. So 5 minus alpha should be 0. So alpha should be equal to 5. That means option 2 will be the correct option for this question. You can see how fast we can solve these questions if we remember the pattern. Next question is from JMain 2020. So it says if fx is like this, okay, further suppose that for any real number x not equal to minus a, okay, f of x is equal to x, okay. So f is again self-inverse. So we put the sum of coefficients of x in the numerator and the constant term in the denominator equal to 0. So here it will be minus 1, then it will be plus a equal to 0. So a comes out to be 1. So fx is 1 minus x divided by 1 plus x. So f of minus half we can easily calculate. It will be equal to 1 plus half, which is 3 by 2, and 1 minus half, which is half, so 3. Next, JMAN 2024, you can see again, it is of the same form that we just discussed. So here, the coefficient here and this constant term, their sum is equal to 0. So f of x will be equal to x. And g of x will be simply equal to x. So g of 4 will be equal to 4. So you can see how fast we can handle such type of questions. Now this question is one of the predicted question for JMain 2025. You attempt this question yourself and post the answer in the comments. The next pattern that you have to keep in mind is this. If fx is of the form, let's say x divided by 1 plus x to the power n whole to the power 1 by n, then f of f of f of so on up to f of x, where we take this composition n times, is equal to x divided by 1 plus n x to the power n whole to the power 1 by n. This you have to keep in mind. Direct questions on this have been asked in JEE Main and Advanced. For example, this question was asked in IIT JEE 2007. Here it is the same format that we just discussed. So gx here will be x divided by 1 plus x to the power n, sorry, n times x to the power n whole to the power 1 by n. Now x to the power n minus 2 times gx, integral of this. So here it will be x to the power n minus 2, and then it will become simply x to the power n minus 1, an integral of this. So we will get, So here we need to put this term equal to t. So 1 plus n times x to the power n equal to t. That means n square times x to the power n minus 1 is equal to dt. Sorry, this will be multiplied with the dx. So this part is basically our dt by n square. So we get from here it is equal to dt by n square, then 1 by t to the power 1 by n, integral of this. So it will be 1 by n square and integral of t to the power minus 1 by n dt. So here you can see easily it will be t to the power 1 minus 1 by n divided by n minus 1 divided by n into n square. So here this n gets cancelled and we will be left with 1 divided by n into n minus 1 times this t to the power 1 minus 1 by n, where t is this. So you can easily see here will be a integration constant. So option A will be the correct option for this question. Again, similar question was asked in JEE Main 2023. Here this function we just calculated is equal to 1 divided by n into n minus 1 times 1 plus n x to the power n whole to the power 1 minus 1 by n. And here we will also consider the limits because it is a definite integral. So 0 to 1. So now it will become 1 divided by n into n minus 1. Then this will be 1 plus n whole to the power 1 minus 1 by n minus 1. Now we have to check the limit of this when n tends to infinity. So how can we calculate this limit? Let us put n equal to 1 by t. So this limit will become limit t tends to 0 plus then 1 by this n into n minus 1 we can write as 1 by t, then 1 by t minus 1, then here 1 plus 1 by t whole to the power 1 minus t minus 1. Now this thing you can write as limit t tends to 0 positive, then t square divided by 1 minus t times this inside this bracket. So now we can easily evaluate this limit because it is equal to 1. So the limit will become limit t tending to 0 positive, then t square, then 1 plus 1 by t whole to the power 1 minus t minus 1. So now we can write this limit as equal to t square times this we can write as 1 plus t whole to the power 1 minus t divided by t to the power 1 minus t minus 1. So limit t tends to 0 positive. Now again this can be written as limit t tends to 0 plus. If we take this in the denominator, so this will become t square times this will be t to the power 1 minus t, and here 1 plus t whole to the power 1 minus t minus t to the power 1 minus t. Now we can again write this 2 as t to the power 2 minus 1 plus t, which is t to the power 1 plus t. So t into t to the power t. So it will become limit t tends to 0 plus t into t to the power t times this will be 1 plus t whole to the power 1 minus t minus t to the power 1 minus t. Now you simply evaluate this limit. This limit will be equal to 1. How? Because when you tend t to 0 plus, you can see it will tend to 1. And limit t tends to 0 plus t to the power t will be equal to 1, and limit t tends to 0 plus t will be 0. So the overall limit tends to 0. So 0 will be the correct answer for this question. Now this question you attempt yourself and answer in the comments. It was asked in JEE Main 2024. Now let us discuss the third pattern, which is if fx is of the form k times a to the power 2x divided by a to the power 2x plus a, then you have to remember that f of x plus f of 1 minus x is equal to k. And similarly, here is another form that you can note, which is fx equal to k times a to the power x divided by a to the power x plus a. If fx is of this form, then f of x plus f of 2 minus x is equal to k. These two patterns have been repeated many times in both JEE Main and JEE Advanced. So let us see some examples. This question was asked in JEE Advanced 2020. It says, let the function defined by this is of this form. Okay. So we can write it as 2 to the power 2x divided by 2 to the power 2x plus 2. Basically, a is equal to 2 and k is equal to 1. So the value of this. Now we notice that f of 1 by 40, if we group with this term, it will be f of 1 by 40 plus f of 1 minus 1 by 40. So they will sum up to give simply equal to k, which is 1. Similarly, you can group this 2 by 40 and 38 by 40, and they will give us 1. So how many ones are there? There are altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 19. Because 19 will get paired with 21. So there are altogether 19 ones. Plus, now if we consider the term f of 20 by 40, there is no pair for this term. So there will be f of 20 by 40, which is half. And minus this f of half is there. So basically they cancel each other. So our answer comes out to be 19. Again, similar question asked in JEE Main 2023. Exact same function for this. Again, we can see here these two terms will group together to give us 1. So how many ones are there? We have to go from 1 to 1011, because 1011 will get paired with 1012 to produce 2023. So all the terms here are paired. So our answer will become 1 times 1011. So basically 1011. You can see how fast we can handle such questions. Again, similar question asked in JEE Main 2022. Here it says fx is of this form. So basically it is of this form k a to the power 2x divided by a to the power 2x plus a, where a is equal to e and k is equal to 2. So we are to calculate this series. You can see easily this term and this term will give us equal to k, which is 2. So how many 2's will be produced? So f of 1 by 100 to f of 49 by 100 will all be paired. But f of 50 by 100 will not be paired. So there are 49 2's that are to be produced. And plus there will be a term left, which is f of 50 by 100, which is f of half. Now 49 into 2 is simply equal to 98, plus f of half you can calculate from the definition of f, which is equal to 2 e to the power 1 divided by e to the power 1 plus e. So basically 2e divided by 2e, which is 1. So it comes out to be 99. So these patterns you have to note down in your mind, because these are frequently asked patterns. Now this question you can try yourself and post down the answer in the comments.